A running theme you guys have a little bit is that you're really good at making stuff loud.
Oh yeah.
How do you get your masters so fucked? Because I've mastered this guy's stuff before, or just like when I was putting together my new remix EP, Tasty. I just wanted to volume match everything decently so it would float. Yours was the loudest fucking thing out of all of
Yeah.
all. How do you get it so loud without like sounding awful? How do
Uh,
you do that?
okay, so when I'm actually in the mixing stage of something, I have a tendency to make stuff really loud because I don't like doing a lot of big fader movements. It just feels weird to me. So on the actual master channel of my mix, before I mix it down and send it off for mastering, or export it for mastering, I don't send it off. I do that. Uh, I'll put a limiter on it at about negative 0.3 dB just so I'm not clipping the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll get my arrangement sort of where I want it with how the instruments are set up. And then after that, I won't touch any of the mix bus faders. I'll go to the master bus fader. I'll turn off my limiter and then start getting it to where usually I'll have at least negative 3 dB of headroom for the master. So I can keep all my instruments pretty loud, but it's not clipping on export. And then mastering, I'll put in like tape saturation that will make it louder, some compressors with makeup gain that makes it louder, EQ, more compression, multiband compression, just things that will keep it loud. And I typically master around negative 3 dB. I don't know how many LUFs that usually is, but or negative 0.3 dB. I don't know if I said negative 3. But so it's staying fairly loud because in the loudness wars that we had back in the CD days, loudness won.
I'm not aware of this.
Yeah,
Give me a
back
brief,
in
brief explanation.
yeah, back whenever CDs were still popular, we realized we could mix it or masters louder and louder, so people would just on their CDs master their music extremely loud, and people were talking about how that took away dynamics from mixes and stuff, and to a certain point it did because you were essentially everything in your master would kind of look like a rectangle, but with like dips, but that loudness sort of won out with streaming services. It's a little less so because those loud mixes will be taken down and the quiet mixes will be brought up. But in the end, like on the mastering thing, people still like how when you put it loud, it sounds better because it's just an effect on the human ear. Loud things sound better to us typically. That's why
Yeah.
concerts and like big church venues are super popular because everything's just really loud, so you just feel it.